Hello, my name is Saida Holder, and I attend Olathe High School. My internship is at the University of Houston, and I was synthesizing ITO thin films, which that sounds like a lot, but I'll explain it in just a second. Okay, so the University of Houston Chemistry Department, they were incredibly welcoming. I enjoyed doing research with them right away, and I was with a group of students that were part of a different program in Texas called the Welsh program. And every one of those students were a delight to hang out with. We even played cards after our research sometimes in the dorm lobby. It was just really fun. And they were really easy to work with. I could talk to them and be honest. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And then, yes, I was doing low-speed ITO dip coding, which with Tiffany Wu, which is in the audience right now, and Katarina Kraus, which was one of the Welsh students that I was working with. And to sum up my project, indium tin oxide films are basically these thin films that are transparent and conductive. So you would use them in your cell phones and OLED screens, so you can have it be conductive, but also you can see through it. And then, so how I began, I used indium nitrate. I made a solution of indium nitrate, or we tried to. We ended up not having enough. This comes into play later. And I also made a tin chloride stock solution because we needed to mix those two to make a certain solution, molar ratios of indium and tin, so we could dip the slide into it so that ITO coating can be put onto the glass slide. And yeah, we didn't have enough nitrate, so we ended up using indium chloride. And while finding out that we didn't have enough, we ended up using all of the indium chloride as well. So we had to order more. And then about 3 weeks into my internship, after we realized we had ordered too much, or not ordered too much, we ordered some, the scale was wrong. See, this is 20 milliliters, it's hard to see. It's reading as 7.5 grams, that should be reading as 20 grams. So I wonder why we didn't have enough. That explains why, that really explains why nothing was working and why we ran out of everything. We realized this way later, so, oh, come on. So yeah, afterwards, I ended up calculating the molarity of the real solutions that I'd made, since we could not order more at this point, because it would come by the time I left. And once we finally figured out the molarity of the solutions, I calculated it so we could create the proper solution ratio for our beaker. And Professor Baldelli, similar to what he had to do with Tiffany, where he just was like, here, make a light. He gave me that machine, this machine, with this little hook and a manual. I asked him, how do I do this certain thing? I don't know, figure it out. So I ended up having to call the customer support of that machine and have a Zoom meeting with him to figure out how to, I was trying to make it recede from the solution at 2 millimeters a minute, and I couldn't, for the life of me, I could not figure it out. So this really nice man on a Zoom helped me figure it out. And after several weeks, after attempting to clean these slides, because the slides were contaminated, a bunch of that stuff, and the scale, it was a bunch of trial error, we were finally able to dip. Okay. Yeah, we dipped the slides into the solution, and receded them at 2 millimeters a minute, and then we repeated that 5 times. So we would dip and then anneal in an oven at about 600 degrees Celsius for anywhere from 10 to 60 minutes, I believe. And yeah, we would do that 5 times to create 5 coatings. And I analyzed these films using a UV vis spectrometer. And we used different types of climates in glass. So we used quartz slides and glass slides. Quartz slides can withstand a higher amount of heat, and glass slides tend to melt at higher temperatures, which is not good. Okay, and this is my collected data from the spectrometer. It's basically a beam of light that shows you how light passes through, how UV and visible light passes through the slide, how it absorbs and refracts. Yeah, this is my data. So it's the wavelengths of basically where it's transmitting and scattering. And the data collected from the voltammeter, which that was what my partner Katarina Kraus was doing, it was basically to see if it was conductive at all. We didn't have great results, but we did have the films. And I compiled all this data into a poster for presentations. Okay. And then this was my poster. We presented to all the professors in the Welsh program and other students that would just wander in. I was terrified because it was a lot of professionals, and I sounded like I do right now. But after doing this multiple times, I was much more confident, and I was talking to a professor that was very, I didn't even know it was her, and she was very good at what she does, so I was terrified. Okay. Yeah, this is my poster that I created, and all this data, yeah, we presented, and I did it on PowerPoint, and then we printed it out, and it was really expensive if we had to do it ourselves, so I'm glad we didn't have to do that. Yep, this is it, blown up. So our last event was the elevator talk, where we have to do basically a whole overview of our presentation within not 5 minutes, but like within a short amount of time, over the past 5 weeks. And we did it in a lecture hall in front of all the parents and a couple professors and all the other students. I didn't show the whole video because it was 13 minutes long. I was trying to make it shorter, but it ended up not happening. And then the fun stuff I did, each weekend we kind of went somewhere else with the Welsh program. We just wanted to get out there and do stuff while we were here. So we went to the aquarium and then the movie theater. Me and Katya went to a cat cafe just basically on a whim because Professor Baldelli was in the lab. So we were like, hey, let's just go to this place. And then the Museum of Natural Science we went to. It was really gorgeous. We saw the butterfly exhibit, and honestly, I would go again. It was so pretty. We went to the Galleria, the biggest mall, and then I had lots of good food. I ate a lot of sushi. You can tell, that's me. And then my tips, don't be afraid to apply for an internship. Sometimes you might just be like, oh, I'm not qualified. Oh, I don't know that much. Just apply. Even if you don't get in, you tried. And even if STEM isn't your main focus for after high school, give it a shot. If you think you want to be a lit major, try something in science. Because I wasn't even sure about science when I did it. And I now realize that science is what I want to do. And then ask your professors questions, even if you have to hunt them down across campus. Professor Baldelli would disappear. We had no idea where he went, and sometimes I'd just see him walk out the window to, I don't know. So, yeah, I'd have to hunt him down just to ask him a simple question. And then try and fail and make the best of your time. Don't spend all your time hidden away in your dorm. Go out and do stuff. Just like me and Katya did that one day that he wasn't in the lab, we just went to a cat cafe. And that was great. I was so happy to see all those little cats. And these are the people that I think.